Good afternoon, everyone. My original intention this afternoon was to give you a bit of context about how challenged physical retail is at the moment, and really that's driving a need for innovation. The company I work for, Into, we're the largest owner and operator of big shopping centres in the UK, and I think that gives us a fairly unique perspective on the need for that innovation. But of course, I've now discovered that I am competing for stage attention with a robot, and so, excuse me, I'm going to skip through a number of the slides. Suffice to say, it is a very challenging time for retail. We've seen a number of big names with large store estates either in distress or have experienced some level of financial distress, and the technology landscape is changing very quickly around us. Our response to that Into, recognising that the technology landscape is changing so quickly, is first of all to recognise that we can't have all of the answers, and I will skip through a number of these slides and talk about our innovation programme. We decided that we would work with the startup community about 2 years ago and see if we could use our centres effectively as digital playgrounds and enable startups and new technology companies to use our centres to experiment, to play around, and to develop in real life terms use cases that could develop their businesses. I'm about to introduce you to Andre, who's one of our last year's alumni, and Bo, a retail robot that we deployed in 2 of our centres last year. But I thought I would also just take the opportunity to introduce some companies that we're working with this year, all of whom are represented in a showcase today. And just over there in the showcase, you can ask them more details if anything piques your interest. So this year we're working with a company called CarTap. Effectively, it enables access to locked vehicles to enable retail deliveries, even though the owner may not be present. A company called GridEdge, who are using AI and algorithmic trading in real time to reduce energy costs, particularly important to us as a big energy user. Rhythm, who are using large screens in single venues to create multi-role player experiences in large venues. WeFi, who are creating social dining experiences using or enabled by digital communities. GreenDeck, where we're using artificial intelligence, natural language processing, and image recognition in combination, really to aid the digital discoverability of products, both online and offline. Yosh AI, who are developing a chatbot-based virtual shopping assistant in conjunction with ourselves. And Royalty, a company that is using social media engagements to really harness some unique customer insights. So, as I said, a very quick background as to who we're working with this year. I'm now going to hand you over to Andre to talk about the deployment of robots in retail environments.
Thank you very much, Trevor. So my name is Andre. Hello, everyone. I'm one of the founder of Bots and Us, and we are an AI and robotics company based in the UK, and our main focus is autonomous service robots. Usually when I mention robots, people think of either humanoid robots or either Terminators or housemaids, but the reality of technology and the practicalities of it is that we're not quite there yet. So what I'm going to speak about next is this little machine here, which is called Bo, and this is a service robot. So we've designed and created Bo to help serve customers and to offer a better and more accessible way of interacting with them. So the pictures you see behind me are the first deployments and the market tests we've done with the technology and Into shopping centers. So what Trevor was saying about having the access to live locations, having the access to live customers is invaluable for a company. And because you don't quite see autonomous robots everywhere just yet, these were the first real market tests of this technology. On one hand, we were testing to see if people are ready to embrace it, if the customers go and interact with it, if they find it exciting, if they want to engage with this tech. And on the other hand, we're looking at whether or not the technology meets their expectations. Because like I was saying earlier, the fact that people expect it to be just like in Hollywood movies doesn't really do us a lot of favors. However, what we did in the shopping centers is we had a number of robots deployed. They were interacting with the guests as they came in. They were offering guidance and they were offering information about product location, about various stores available. They could guide people to different places and also show different promotions and do part of the cross-selling. And another really important element of this was the fact that they could get feedback. So they could get a lot of data by interacting with customers and asking them different questions that made it much easier for businesses to take strategic decisions. The other element of this is that you have a number of robots deployed, and with each single interaction, your whole fleet of robots can learn and become better and serve your customers better. So the way we work as a company, we're a full stack robotics solution provider. So we do three main things. We do hardware, we do software, and then we do the service side of things and the support. By this I mean either data analysis and insights generation, or I mean the service by looking after the fleets, making sure deployments are alright, making sure our customers make the most of the solution. So this is really important because the technology is just picking up and the market is just forming around this tech, around autonomous robots doing various jobs. So in order to help our customers make the most of the technology, maximize the usage, we will work with them and implement the solutions that fits them best. So the way Bo works, if it's deployed on site, it will be accessible 24/7. It can interact and engage with customers as they enter the venue. It offers assistance, and based on the information exchange, it understands how it can serve them best. It can hook into the existing ecosystem, so integrate with backend systems, integrate with stock, have all that information available to him instantly. Then it understands what customers want and either navigates and takes them to a specific location or a predefined location, or it can get other robots to support or get the products and get what the customer is looking for. Off the back of this, it can generate data. So the fact that it interacts live with physical customers inside the store means you get a very good overview as to in what place of the store, in what location, people are asking specific questions or they're looking for specific products. And in the background, the whole fleet of robots learn and becomes better. Like I was mentioning, having 3 robots deployed means that you can accelerate your learning abilities in your artificial intelligence systems 3 times faster. We understand that providing very good quality customer service is difficult, and being able to interact with people in multiple languages, being able to have instant access to information, continuously retraining stuff is a real challenge. Having the right information instantly is difficult for a person unless it's assisted by other technologies. And being able to gather the data in a very, very granular manner, in a very good way, it's a lot harder in physical spaces than it is with the online giants. So our technology helps our clients sell more, it helps them have much happier customers, and it leads to a much more efficient business. One of the next areas we're looking at is the operation side of things. So very soon we're looking at expanding the autonomous capabilities into full operational assistance. By this I mean the robot can navigate the space autonomously, it can map the geometry of the space, it can then look at checking the layout, it can look at whether or not things have changed from last time it ran its maps. All this leads to a much more efficient usage of stock, being able to order the right thing just in time, so you optimize the logistics, and you get very, very good information about the customer distribution around the estate. You also get very good information about how you can optimize the layout and how you can optimize your location so you can serve exactly what customers want. We are at the beginning of this. So the autonomous robotic technology is just coming into physical retail now, but it's very exciting, and we're going to be gearing up for quite a few deployments over the next months. and over the next year. So we're always looking for new partners, and we're always looking for new use cases, because that's the important bit. It's not one of those one size fits all. It's a matter of making sure that the technology fits your needs and you can apply it best to serving your customers. So if you want any further demos from us, please get in touch, and we are happy to showcase everything to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Does anybody have any questions for these
Sorry.
two gentlemen we're here? We should have some coming up. What is the battery life and charging strategies?
I guess that's for me, so I'll take
I
that.
would think so.
So the battery life is around 8 hours of normal use. And the charging strategy, because it's capable of navigating the space autonomously, it has a number of charging docks. So it tries to maximize its battery life during the day. So if it's not engaged, it will try and prioritize charging itself. And during the night, it will just automatically dock and be ready for the next day.
And the next question, how do you stop teenagers, or anybody else for that matter, breaking your robot?
That's a very good question, and this is one of the potential issues that we know we're going to be facing. The fact that it looks like a relatively high-tech piece of equipment helps to some extent, because people think, oh, well, it's expensive and I don't necessarily want to break it. If someone's definitely set out to break the robot, it's very hard to stop them. So we have alarm systems. If you try to abuse it and move it to other locations, it will start sounding alarms, and it can notify a member of the staff. But if someone wants to go at it with a baseball bat, there isn't much we can do about that. So
It's worthwhile saying we deployed Bo in our centres into Lakeside, not far from here in Essex, and also into Milton Keynes, across a range of times of day, days of the week. And it was remarkable how engaged all types of customers were, anything from teenagers, families with young children, to pensioners that were very engaged. Our centres tend to be quite busy shopping environments, and therefore we didn't see any abuse of the robots, and there was a large degree of self-policing, I think, in large volume shopping environments.
Trevor, there's another one for you. How do you determine what technology to roll out across the Intu centres?
Well, I think, first of all, our relationships with retailers and gives us a unique perspective. We can kind of take an all-industry view of the challenges that are facing the industry. But as I said in my intro, we really wouldn't pretend to have all of the answers. And therefore, it is through programs like Intu Accelerate, where we are working with the startup community, that we can test, see what gets traction, pilot, and deploy at scale. And that's pretty much the strategy, is to do some small-scale trials, roll those into full-scale pilots, and then if we get traction with consumers, or alternatively on a B2B basis with retailers, then we will deploy at scale.
Thank you. One of the things I'd like to ask is, you talked at the beginning about people's perceptions of what a robot is, and we all have them from whatever age we are. How did you come about to choose this as the height and everything else about it? Can you just tell a bit about why you developed the look of this to actually interact and create such an innovation in centres like you've got? What attracts people to Bo?
Sure. So you're right. Everyone has different perceptions about it, and what we wanted to do with the design is we wanted to make it very friendly and capable of offering a good human-robot interaction without being scary. But because it's autonomous, and you'll see when you have a deployment, it will just move around on its own. We also wanted to make it quite close to objects that we know and we understand in a day-to-day life. So the fact that we have a screen on the top of the robot that's similar to a tablet screen is by design, because we wanted people to understand, I can interact with this machine by touching it or by speaking to it. So that was one of the factors, and from a friendliness and kind of cuteness point of view, we were trying to make sure that the robot fits as many demographics as possible. So, like Trevor was saying, in the deployments we had, it interacted with everyone from very young kids all the way to people that were 70 and over, and they were actually very excited. We had this lady going up to speak to the robot, and then she said, "Oh, it's just like my Alexa speaker at home." So it shows that people are very excited and very open to embracing technology, and it's this new wave that's coming that makes them not be wary or afraid of it, but makes them very curious and very eager to interact with it.
Absolutely. Question here, how well do the robots work in loud environments?
So the way we've set everything up is designed to be in public spaces. So I'm guessing the question refers to the voice interaction side of things. So they have specific algorithms for that, and they can do the voice capturing if it's extremely loud, and we have issues with that. Then we will also have a backup option on the touch screen.
Okay, thank you. Trevor, I've got another question for you about the retail centres. Obviously, the news from John Lewis today is not good. Retail are having it very, very hard and getting footfall through. How much do you think pieces of innovation like this are important to make the whole experience of coming into one of your centres a go-to destination?
Well, I think you've used that word experience, and that increasingly going forward is what retail destinations need to reflect. Is an experience that fulfills multiple requirements, multiple missions for a customer, whether it's a great day out with the family for leisure purposes, or whether it's acting as a gateway and a portal into a brand by giving them a great experience that really is powerful enough that that environment engenders loyalty and sales right across a retailer's ecosystem, whichever channel the customer seeks to interact with. So I think that's really where our focus is that retail experience, and of course providing technology such as Bow in those environments demonstrably, as we saw in our centres, actually brought joy to the customers that were using it.
Joy is a good word. What's next for Bow, or what's next for Bow Mark II?
So we've done quite a bit of market testing with this version, and we're gearing up to do some deployments, like I said, in the following months and later next year. And the next version of it will have all the learnings and all the improvements that we want to build into it, so integrate with some of our customers' demands and requests. So it will look slightly different. I won't go into any more detail than that. But again, it will be along the same lines, so very much focusing on interacting with customers, on the friendliness and the very inclusive side of technology.
Go on, let's put your neck out. Where do you want to see Bow 10 years' time? What are we going to see in your retail centres and with this piece of technology?
I would like to see it everywhere, to be honest. But realistically, walking into a shopping center, being greeted by a robot, and then having your bespoke personal assistant shopper that knows you can have an account, so he will know your account and he would recommend your specific products and your specific areas of interest that can, seamlessly navigate you. It can bring products to you, summon other robots, so it's all completely automated and it's the best experience you can offer to a customer.
And Trevor, how about you? How do you see the future in 10 years' time? What would you like to see?
Well, I think for us, it's increasingly about how do we merge the digital and the physical worlds. What kind of voice interaction, what kind of digital personal shopper are people going to be using in the future? So I can absolutely see a world where when you walk into one of our centres, you are greeted by your own avatar, digital personal shopping assistant, who will assist you in our environments through learning with technology like Bow to navigate our centres and help you get the most out of your shopping experience.
Thank you. Any further questions for these gentlemen? No? Well, thank you both very much indeed, and thank you for bringing Bow along. Many thanks.